Hey y'all, what's up? I've got some really cool blue yarn that I'm mixing up today. Now, not all of the wool is blue, but I'm happy with how it turns out. These two colors are definitely my favorites in this group. I adore darker teal and turquoise colors. And this purple is beautiful too. And I've got some green and a bunch of natural undyed wool in the mix as well. So let's get started mixing it up. The process is the same for most of my yarn, just randomly brushing colors down, no set order for anything. I really prefer the randomness of this over making it organized. It actually helps to not be super picky over things. I tend to be a perfectionist, but I've been working on it and slowly it's been getting better, and stuff like this helps a lot. It's definitely a mess sometimes, but it's really fun. Oh, I had someone in my last video comment an idea to use tulle as a base under the wool while I'm mixing it to help me pull it off the board easier. I did try it, kinda. It was basically impossible for me to actually get the tulle onto the board. I did like the idea though. You can see how there's a difference between these two bundles I mixed. One is darker with more greens and purples, and the other has more white. You can actually see it easier with all of the wool together like this. So some of them are almost all blue, and then some of them have a ton of white in it. I'm actually going to blend these further by pulling the wool apart and kind of stretching those colored sections out. So you can definitely see how everything starts blending together more as I do this. The blues get less intense, the white blending in and making everything overall much softer looking. Now, once I've finally done that and I have this huge pile in front of me, you can still see some color separation, which is exactly what I want. I even tried making a braid out of it. It's definitely messy, but honestly, I'm just glad it all stuck together for my first time ever making a roving braid. Now, onto the spinning. I always get really focused and relaxed during this part. It helps calm my mind to be able to focus on something like this. It forces both my hands and my mind to work together to make sure the yarn is even. So this little spot here was too thick. So what I do for this is I just grab above and below the spot that I need to adjust, and I'll manually untwist it and pull the fibers apart. And then when I let go of it, it retwists and it evens out. So sometimes with spots that come out a little thicker, they are still thin enough that I can just pinch the wool between my fingers and it'll compress it down into the right thickness. When I first started yarn making, I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I do. I absolutely adore color theory, and especially experimenting with weird color combinations. As long as the color of wool is available somewhere to buy, I can get it and throw it into a mix with something else and make a completely new color combo. That, combined with always wanting to do something with my hands, was just a great combo for becoming obsessed with this. I used to crochet a lot before, that's how I got into fiber art, but recently it's been too taxing on my body to do that too much. I've ended up injuring my wrist from crocheting too much for markets, but doing this now lets me keep creating without completely ruining my joints. I'm sure over time my knees might hate me for using the wheel, so I do eventually want to get a knee spinner to lessen the wear and tear on my body. It's hard to find a hobby or a job that isn't taxing on my body, so I honestly just keep pushing and try to do what I can to accommodate for myself. If you're wanting to try a new hobby, but there might be physical or mental limitations, see if there's accommodations for you. Art deserves to be accessible to everyone, no matter what your ability level is. Oh yeah, so here I accidentally made the yarn too thin. When that happens, I will pull the fibers loose and reattach it higher up so that the spot gets thicker. Then when I start spinning again, those fibers stick to each other and connect seamlessly. Most of the time. Occasionally, I do need to split the fibers and force them to connect again, but it still works out. And now I have the yarn done and I'm already plying it. I honestly didn't realize I hadn't recorded the first part, so we're just jumping right into plying. Sometimes while plying it, one side will break, either from being too thin or I just didn't twist it enough. When I do that, I will tie the ends back together and then carefully untwist that side that's broken, align the fibers, and then twist it back together. This helps make it so that the knot I tie is less noticeable and it'll sit pretty smoothly in the yarn. I wanted to show the ball as I ply the yarn. I use both ends at the same time from a single ball, and that makes sure I don't end up with one side longer than the other, like if I were to use two separate balls of yarn. The plying always goes really fast. I can usually get that done in an hour or two depending on how thick the yarn is, while the spinning portion can take at least a day of work. Definitely more if it's a thinner yarn. Washing the yarn isn't really anything fancy, just back and forth between hot soapy water and ice water. I kind of want to get a tub or bucket to be able to wash multiple skeins at once. Oh, I totally forgot to record the finished yarn as soon as it was done. I ended up going to a fiber festival and sold one of the 2 skeins I made of this color. So you'll just have to imagine that there's 2 that I show at the end. I only have 1 left. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I'm debating on making some videos outside of spinning too, especially history related. It's really fascinating to me. But if that sounds interesting, please let me know. Remember to like and subscribe, and share with your friends if they want to listen to a random guy yapping about yarn for 15 minutes.